Hello, welcome on a new video on Dungeon Defenders, and this time this video will be different than what I usually record because I won't show you any build or any map. No, it will just be a video about me in my tavern and sitting and talking to you or showing you stuff. And so I don't have any text written on the side, it will just be me talking freely. And so I don't know how long this video will be. I don't even know if I will upload the full video in one go or if I will split it in two because it may take a while. So what I will talk about in this video is I will talk a bit about me and my Dungeon Defender history. I will talk about my videos and what I have planned for my future video. What I plan to farm on Dungeon Defenders or what I already farmed or stuff like that. Uh, and I will fully show you all my characters, every item I have, and my stats. So this may be interesting if you're curious about every item that I have hidden in my box and stuff like this. I will show you everything in a moment. And I will show you also my tavern with all the items on the ground because you can see oftenly my tavern in my videos, but you don't always know what items I have on the floor or stuff like that. So I will show you everything I have. So it may be if you're curious or if you're interested, I will show you everything. And that's it, I think. So yeah. To start, a bit of introduction about me. Uh, I started playing this game back in the day on PlayStation 3. So it was when the game was pretty new, if I remember it correctly. Because I remember buying the game on the PS Store, then buying the Misty Mire and Morago, and then Aquanos DLC. And I was really enjoying it. There was only up to insane difficulty back in the days. And I remembered because I used to play a lot with my brother back in the days, and we were having a lot of fun on the game. But well, back in the days, the game was very different than what it is currently. There was a lot more of grinding and stuff like that. Getting experience was extremely painful and long and kinda useless because you were farming a lot just to get a few extra points on your characters. But I was enjoying it, even if it was like that. Uh, and then I stopped playing on PlayStation 3 because when the Sky City and Crystalline Dimension DLC was released, and was very disappointed because it only got released on the US, if I remember correctly, and not on the Europe PlayStation Store. And so I couldn't buy it, and I was stuck on with Aquanos and stuff like that. I couldn't play on Sky City on Crystalline Dimension, and I couldn't even play on the Insane Plus difficulty. So it's I'm kinda sad about that. And then I stopped playing the game after that. Then I didn't have a computer back in the days, so I had to wait a few more years to when I got a computer to buy the game, and there was a lot of more content on the game on computer, of course. It was in I don't remember the years. No, it was a few years later, and no, I don't even remember. I don't really remember that date. But what I do remember is that I really came back in the game back on 2019 when the Coastal Bazaar update got released. It was with the 8.5 update, and so that's why I really came back in the game. And when I also joined the Discord Dungeon Defenders run and giveaways, and also more or less the same years when that I started to record some videos for my YouTube channel. And back from that day, I was mostly playing the game. Sometimes I took some break. I had to take some break for a moment, but I always somehow come back on the game because that's one of my very favorite game of all time. And about me, you probably figure it out, but my native language is not English. In fact, it's the French, and I live in Belgium. So that's why my pronunciation and my accent is not English, because I am speaking French, in fact, and I can say stuff like bonjour, je m'appelle Meshak, et je fais des vidéos sur YouTube sur Donjon Defender, stuff like that. And yeah, so yeah, with the English, for example, I hate pronouncing the R letters. Like, if I have to pronounce stuff like rare, uh, I usually try to avoid spelling that because I hate pronouncing every R letter or the H letter as well. I have some issues with those two letters. But anyway, so I started playing this game. No, I mean, I started making videos around 5 years ago, but back in the days I was not recording my voice because, well, first I don't like my voice, like most of people, but I got used to it, and I also got used to speaking English because I was not very confident, or yeah, confident with my English. Uh, but joining some voice chats on Discord, on Dungeon Defenders, helped me with that. So, um, and people were telling me that my English accent was pretty fluent, or that my English was not bad. So, it helped me a lot uh, to start recording my voice on my video. And in the end, I find it better that way. I find I find that I find it easier also, and um, I don't know the word, but it's better to watch. It's because back before that I had to record video and sometimes edit them and add some text to explain what I was doing and what you had to do for some builds, but it was in the end a bit annoying, and I think it's better to just listen to someone with some commentary explaining stuff. And so yeah, I only started to record my voice with my Coastal Bazaar video, so it's a very recent change. And what I also do on my video is, well, when I record my voice, is that I edit the YouTube subtitles, so you can, if I pronounce, if I say stuff that, if I say weird words, or if my accent is not very good or don't understand everything, write, I edit the subtitles so you can listen to what I have to say, and this make me think that this video will be very long to edit the subtitles. But anyway, yeah, so I started with Pirate Invasion video, and I like Pirate Invasion. It's one of my favorite maps of all time because I like the idea of an infinite game mode. But sadly, it's not working very well with this game because you can have some connection issues, and you can play the map for 2 hours, but then have a connection issues, and you don't get any loot from the map because of that. So it's sometimes annoying, and it's also why I don't oftenly play that map. but I like it. And it's a bit sad about the connection issue or stuff like that. Speaking about my videos, I have some videos planned for my YouTube channel. Uh, I um, I have, for example, a big video series called Everything You Want to Know About, and it will be um, a video about a big video series where I will be explaining every details that you want to know about every single thing of the game. It will be mainly a video focused on the towers. Like for example, the very first video will be everything you want to know about the buff beam, and I will be explaining everything you want to know about that, how it works, and every detail. It will be a series for beginners, but it can also contain some interesting information that even advanced players don't know. So I'm pretty excited to start uploading this video. I started to work on them a few weeks ago, but I took a break about that. But I will upload the first videos very soon. Yep. So it will the first 4 videos of that series will be Buff Beam, Pylon, Guardians, and I think a video with the 3 of them. Anyway, I have also some video planned like Aquanos, doing Aquanos on campaign or Rootless, but also mainly because now you can farm seahorses on Rootless on Aquanos, because on one of the recent patch something got changed on the map, and you can now farm seahorses on Aquanos on wave 25, I think, on Rootless. So I have to make a video about that, especially because there will be a contest about seahorses on January that I will host, and I will make a video announcement about that. And if you are on Dungeon Defenders or an giveaway, you will also get a notification about that. And there will be some juicy rewards to get. It will be a contest about, well, it will be a contest about farming the best DPS seals, but I will give some more informations later about that. Anyway, I have also some other videos planned, like doing lab assault on Rootless on Duo, maybe 1 or 2 more true boss rush video, because I know people like them, and also different Rootless video maps. And I also Crystalline Dimension on Rootless on Duo. That is gonna be interesting to do. And while I'm talking with my builds and video plans, um, just an information that I don't oftenly release videos. Well, one reason is that it takes some time to make a build on this game, and making a good build takes a while. Like for example, on my striking tree video, the last one I uploaded with 4K stats, I had to. Well, that one was luckily fast enough to do, but it cost me 2 days to figure out a good build for that, and then I had to try it again, over and over again to make sure that the build was working. But usually for some videos, like my very first striking tree video, no, the 9.2 build striking tree video, it took me 2 weeks or maybe 3, and same things. There was the same things for Tropics of Iteria. It was 2 or 3 weeks to to find a good build, the best build I could find for these maps. And yeah, it's it's time consuming, and so that's why I don't oftenly post build videos for some maps. Some maps are easier to make a build for them. Like I a few months ago I was posting all the challenge maps, on Rootless Hardcore, but these maps are very easy to find, easy to do or findable. For that, the map are small, and there is not much specific things to do. Besides wizardry, that one is very difficult. But some maps are harder to find a good build, so that's why sometimes I take some times. And I like to take my time before releasing a build to make sure that the build is working and that you can and that I and and I release the video when I feel that I don't have anything else to do on that build to improve it. If I find the build more or less perfect, then I start to upload my videos. And yeah, and most of the time I upload my some builds with my high-end stats, but sometimes I do some videos with lower stats. It depends on what I want to do. And one more thing about me and my build is that I almost never copy paste someone else's build when I make a build video, because one of the most funniest part of the game to me is making a build. When you start a new map and have to figure out a build for it, and that's what I really enjoy about this game, which is why I rarely or almost never watch anyone else's build, because that way I don't get I'm not tempted to copy paste some part of the build I see, and it forces me to make my own build and to be creative, and I like that. And if I ever copy paste someone else's build, I will write it in the video description or precise it in the video, but this will rarely happen. It may happen if I do like a Jester Spectacular video, because I think Tyrants or someone else already find a good build for that map, and I don't have to find a better way to play the map. But anyway, I'm not. I will. I will see that. I will check that later. Also, what I plan to farm in Dungeon Defenders? Well, as you will see when I will check my items, I already have most of what I want in the game, of what I need. But what I want to farm is at least one Jade Island for my monk, because I don't have a Jade Island. I only have a Magicite, and I really want a plus Jade Island, so I tried to farm Striking Tree a lot, but I am very unlucky with that map, and I don't know. I'm trying to get it, but the game really never gave it to me. I'm one of the most unlucky people about the Jade Islands, because I did enough run to get at least 3 islands on average, but I only got one so far in the end, and that's really disappointing. But I will keep going. I will keep farming Striking Tree to eventually get one, because I really want one for my apprentice. And besides that, um, I will try to farm some seahorses on Aquados, because I'm tempted to get a plus seahorse, but that's one of the items I will never try hard to farm, because it's so rare that you can't target farm it. You can't you can't get it by just trying over and over again. It's just a matter of luck. Uh, I think the odds for getting a plus on Rootless is 1 out of uh, I don't know the number, but I think it's 170k. No, I mean 107. I can't write. Anyway, I will show the rates on the screen. And So yeah, that's just the two items I really want to get, but the plus plus seahorse is just a bonus. I know I will probably never get one, but who knows? With luck, I can get one. And besides that, I kinda want to farm a plus plus Damira's mount, and that's it, I think. Well, I could always find something else to farm, but that's all I want to farm now. And so, now my characters and my stats, because on my video I'm oftenly showing you my stats like this, but I'm never showing you my actual gear. So let's take a look at that. So my apprentice. I have a really good apprentice. Well, that's not my really apprentice set. I mean armor. In fact, here I swapped with my helmet set, but I will explain that in a moment. So my apprentice. First, I have this really juicy bident that I got from Tavern incursion a while ago, and I was really lucky with it. And what's funny about it is that it has a minus 420, a minus 420. That's funny. Uh, I have a Magicite, which is an event item if you don't know about it. So it gives me 800 in every stats. I have some cheaters accessories, which are again some event items. So nothing arcade or stuff like that. And the armor I'm currently wearing for my apprentice is this plate set with an helmet self-armed, I think. Same with the chest. And same with the gloves. And these boots that I bought 2 cents a while ago. I bought them because they are giving, well, they are only 2157, but as you can see that they are giving a lot of tower damage and rates, and that's what you mostly want on apprentice, and it's why I'm currently wearing this set on my apprentice, because I get good damage and range. I still have more or less 5k range, which is all you really want for apprentice. But I currently swapped with my hermit set because that way I can give my hermit more range, and I think that's better for my hermit. So my hermit is wearing this builder set, which is my current best builder set. So helmet bought from Caesar, a chest from Casper, gloves. I think it's self-farmed gloves. Yeah, I think so. Because there is my forge on them, and boots also self-farmed. I'm not sure about the glove, but I know the boots are self-farmed. I also have this shield, really not the best shield. I could use a better one, but that's one of the things I also have to farm one day, is a better shield. So I will have to play some Flame of Rebirth one day, because it's the best map to farm if you want a shield, because the ultimate rate to get a shield is it's crazily common, but no one is farming the map. So I have to farm that one day. I have this spear, a very good spear that I got from Rovers, and it's giving me range and tower damage, which is all I really want for Hermit. I have a turkey, a decent turkey, that I farmed. Yeah, I think that's one of the few turkey that I self-farmed. Most of my turkeys are bad, but this one is really good. And I have the little set that you can get for completing the I forgot the name of the trophy. Italian achievement? Something like that. So yeah, that's my hermit. And if I swap my gear with my apprentice, you can see that this is what my real stat apprentice are, in fact. So I get more or less the same total damage in total, but more range. But as this blade set is giving me kinda the same damage, I'm keeping it for my apprentice. And my hermit will benefit more from more range. Anyway, that was my hermit and apprentice, but I also have an upgrader adept. Nothing crazy about that. Nothing crazy about her, because as you can see, I'm using a supreme, very bad staff, serpent staff. I couldn't bother to farm a ++1 because it's not that important to have a lot of AB1 on your upgrader adept. All you want is to reach 6k to have a good enough range, because upgrading upgrade aura um, will only increase the radius of your upgrading range. So here you can see the radius, it's big enough with almost 8k. But if you have less gear, there you can see that the radius is so small that it's almost useless with 1k. So you really want, at least in my opinion, 6k range. I mean 6k in AB1 for her. That's why I don't really bother to upgrade to look for stuff for her. I have some decent AB1 leather armor, but that's it. And I have some old one bracers, decent old one bracers that I'm using because of the movement speed, and I have some random accessories. But one day I may focus on upgrading her. That's my now my Huntress builder, and I have a monk on her right now because I was using that for what's the map? Striking tree. But I have this bad turkey, very bad turkey instead, um, which is why I have to farm turkey. Yeah, I forgot about that, but I need to farm turkey one day. So I have some accessories, very good supreme accessories from striking tree. This one reaching 525, and these old one bracers which is reaching 442 if I forge them. All self-farmed, same as my gear. As you can see, I have this ++ helmet, some very nice ++ chest, also very nice gloves, and these very juicy boots that I got like 1 month ago. And it has some crazy ups, and it's it's really insane. That's the kind of piece that you will never farm twice in the game. So I'm really happy about that. It's clearly one of the best range piece in the game, and I'm using it on my Huntress Gather. And what's bad though is my forest rifle. I'm using a Ultimate Plus forest rifle because I am trying to farm some ++ forest rifle for my Huntress, but the game is never giving me any decent ++ forest rifle for my Huntress. And I'm trying to get some, and as you will see, I have a lot of ++ forest rifles on my inventory, but none of them is good for builder. And so that's the two bad items on my undress, the forest rifle and the turkey. So I will have to fix that one day if I want to reach, if I want to break 9k range and keep some sides. Anyway, that was my interest. Then you have the Tower Boost Monk wearing a celebration for the extra hero boost site. Random supreme cool glasses that I could surely replace. I think I have better ones in my inventory. And these bracers. Then I also have some very juicy armor, juicy boots, a juicy chest, and very juicy gloves. And as you can see, it's 17 and stuff. It's very good because it has some very good hero damage side, and I how to say that? I farmed them before the apprentice got reward for DPS, because if I knew that apprentice DPS was gonna be good one day, I probably would have upped them in hero damage instead of AB1. Maybe not for the gloves, but for the rest, I think I would have done that. Because it's a lot more harder to get a good site for DPS. But that's okay, it's good for my tower boost. The only bad things about that is that I almost don't have any hero HP. So in the end, I'm kinda glad I'm not using that for apprentice, because a DPS apprentice with no HP, I would die in a few seconds. And I have this helmet. All my armor is self-farmed, which is funny because I have every plus besides the helmet. One day I will get a plus helmet, but I'm still waiting for that day to come. And I am using a chicken baller for striking trip, island farming, but in fact I have a better weapon that I will show you in a moment. Well, I can show you right now. Where is it? Yeah, it's that one. My boulder throwers. It's not crazy, but it's giving me more AB1 if I wear it. And I have this Genie. The only one item on my Tower Boost Monk that is not self-farmed. This Genie is a gift from Existence from a few years ago. And that's what was my Tower Boost. I have to improve it one day. Then I have my Summoner, fully self-farmed, if I'm right. Yes, fully self-farmed. As you can see, I have some really nice tower HP. The bracers and accessories are good. This is the armor. I could get some better armor, of course, but for now I'm using that. And I'm planning to swap to a leather set one day, because I have a crazy leather chest, but I will show you that in a moment. For now I'm using a plate set and it's good enough like that. Then you have the Eevee, which is one of the characters that could use some improvements, especially with the chest, because it has some sides and that's why I'm keeping it, but in fact there is almost no tower damage on it. Then I have some gloves and decent boots. And I have this crazy helmet on my Eevee, because that's my only chain builder. Then I have a very decent self-farmed scarab bow, and same with my emerald staff. Then I am using this turkey that I could again get a better one easily if I was farming some. I have some old one bracers because it's very nice to have some move speed on your EV. My very first ultimate accessory that I got after exactly 41 hour, which is why I named it that way. I was complaining a lot about this a while ago because I was never getting any ultimate accessory on any map, and it took me almost 5k hours to get my very first one, which is very unlucky when you think about that. And then I'm using an ancient blue on my as my helmet because I was using the full set of that a few months ago, but then I swapped to this accessory and to the Supreme Old One bracers to get more move speed, so I gave up about that set, which is a bit sad because I really like the cosmetic bonus of it. Then you have my very nice ranch monk, very nice. I am reaching. That's the main characters that I'm focusing on upgrading or finding upgrades right now. As you can see, I have some crazy range or a radius. Um, yeah, I lost my words, but I have crazy aura radius, and with using a turkey. If I was not using a turkey, and I could use my Jade Islands, my only Jade Islands, which is a ranch pet, I would be reaching almost 9.8k. And you may be wondering what is this accessory on my inventory, but it's my very new accessory that I bought from Tavern a few days ago, which makes me which give me some more range again. So it's my new upgrade for my range monk, and it's a big change because it's a nice accessory, but I will lose my Tomb of Etheria accessory set. Instead, I will get some nice wings, which is why I bought that mask, because I know that just using the mask is giving you the accessory bonus, which is something that you don't get for with any well, it's the only mask that gives you this kind of accessory bonus by itself, which is why I really wanted to buy it. So yeah, this is the last video where you will see my monk with the nice Tomb of Etheria set, because now I'll be swapping to 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 these very nice wings. And with my turkey, I will now be reaching this number. So a quick look of my brooch. I have this one, this new accessory. Uh, these bracers that I could get an upgrade, but it's weird. But I don't have better bracers than this one. I farm a lot of accessory, but I don't have better bracers than that one. And this one is not even uh, self-farmed because I had to buy it from Gevex a while ago. So yeah, that's one of the few things I will have to improve, because my goal for my range monk is to reach 9.8k range with Jade Island on, and that would be really awesome, because that's the kind of number that it's so hard, so difficult to reach. So yeah, I'm focusing on that, and I'm only missing 50 points, which is why I'm thinking about getting some new bracers. I could get at least 2 points with that, and then I will have no choice but to get some better bracers or helmets. So this is my helmet. I also have these bracers, and I have this chest which has very bad sights. Well, it could have really better sights, but I only bought it for the big range. And I also have these boots. They are missing uh, tower damage and rate, but at least they have some very nice tower HP, and it's well, it's the most important for your auras anyway. So yeah. Besides that, my Jade Islands, my only and ever farmed Jade Islands, which is a very nice Jade Islands. I'm really happy about that. It has a very nice red color, so I can't complain about that. But I'm looking for another one for my apprentice, and this is my spear. A very nice spear with very nice sights. So yeah, what I need is different bracers and better gloves and helmets or anything else that could push me to 9.8k range. Anyway, that was my range monk. And no, that was my first and main page of characters, but I also have my summoners that I'm using for armor farming. And nothing crazy about that. I am using some random accessory and some ultimate bracers. Not even upgraded because I don't care about that. I'm just wearing this for the movement speed. With some ultimate armor. I don't care about getting plus armor for them. And some event guardian huntress. I also have another summoner. I will quickly show you them because it's nothing crazy, so it's some random stuff or very bad, not that good stuff. Well, it's kinda bad for me, but I don't need a lot of HP for them anyway. Third summoner, again with some random stuff. This one has some good tower HP I mean hero HP armor, at least. Then my fourth summoner, because I'm oftenly using 4 summoner when I do some armor farming. I prefer armor farming that way. Then I have this jester that sadly it's almost never used again. My jester upgrader, who is just staying in my box most of the time because now that adept upgrader is a thing. Well, I don't care about it anymore. But at some point I was really focused on getting upgrade for him. I have some decent armor, nothing crazy but just decent. And I have a decent bow of earth. With that I also have some wheelers. It's some jester their only purpose is to get a capped AB2 for wheeling. Nothing else. So the rest of the stuff is not important. I have my DPS EV, currently not wearing armor set. The armor set is on another characters with some decent mask and accessories. Some okay old one bracers. This Prosperous Ember Scepter bought from Naiman a while ago because I don't like what's the name of the map? Embermont Volcano? I really don't like the map and I almost never farmed it. So I I had to buy an Ember Scepter for my EV. I have this very decent statistic thrower stuff, self-farmed, and a self-farmed cat with very nice sights. Here I have another wheeler jester. Again, nothing crazy about the items. I'm just quickly showing them, but really nothing to pay attention. And my last uh, wheeler, again, nothing crazy about the items. All it matters is to get some capped IV2. Then I have my DPS uh, DPS Jester with some. I have some ultimate, very decent accessories for my Jester. This Buccaneer hats, this mask, and 445 bracers, which is very rare to get some. So I'm very happy about that drop. I got it a while ago. This I don't even know why I am wearing this. I think it's from an old video. And I have my downpour. And it's naked, you don't have armor, because the armor is currently on my apprentice. Because my apprentice, DPS apprentice armor is wearing the same set as my jester, DPS jester. Because here, as you can see, this is my armor. It has some very nice AB1 sights. Which is why I swapped. Well, if I have to use my jester, I swap between both characters for the armor. And I have these boots, very nice boots. Not self-farmed, but I bought them from Kaylin a while ago. Then I am using. This is my very best sea drag ever farmed. With very nice sights. But I'm trying to get another sea drags. Because I could always use a better sea drag. It's one of the best pet of the game for DPS. I have this emerald stuff. Very nice emerald stuff, and I have some more DPS stuff in my box, but I will show them in a moment. I have some bracers and mask. Nothing crazy about that. Well, it's decent. It's funny because it has only the sides it matters for my apprentice. And that's it for my apprentice. Then I also have my DPS Huntress, wearing my current best plate DPS stuff, with some self-farmed helmet, same as the plate chest, and same for everything I think. Yep, everything, every armor piece are self-farmed here. So I'm really happy about that set. I also have some decent old one bracers. A very nice striking tree mask for DPS. And a decent Buccaneer hat. And this is my current best forest rifle for DPS. It's really nice. I can't complain about that, but it's missing some hero damage, so I could get a better one. And currently I'm using Ginger, but in fact I have a cat somewhere else in my box. I have a Ginger because I'm using her for island farming. Then I have a contest that I sometimes use for Call to Arms. I used that contest on my boss rush video if you saw that one, where I was using my not a tower goblin for healing and DPS. And that's my best Calamity Blade ever farmed from Tavern Incursion. Very nice one. We were reaching a very nice number. A bit low on hero damage, but it's good like that. Then here is my hero booster, my hero boost monk. And I don't know why. Oh, the number is low, that's why. So that's my hero boost set with my mischief maker, some cheater accessories, and some decent, very decent AB2 bracers. The bracers and mischief maker are, I bought them, I think, if I remember correctly. Then this is my armor. This is my very first good DPS armor ever farmed. I remember farming it on Coastal Bazaar when Coastal Bazaar was the meta map to armor farm. And it's really nice. It's some really nice gloves, but as it's missing some res, I have to use a chest, my chest, to fix the armor, and also boots a bit. So that's only downside about my gloves. And I have some very nice helmet. And yeah, that's my hero boost. That I use it sometimes because hero boost is very nice on DPS maps. This is my barbarian, not wearing any armor right now, but here, as you can see, this is the best Kog'Maw in the game and one of the best sword of the game as well. I farmed it a very long time ago, a few years ago, and it's a really nice weapon to oak for barbarian. One of the best barbarian weapon that you could ever dream to get. I was really lucky to get that one. And I'm using another sword because I don't have another good sword besides that to pair with my Kog'Maw. And I have this Christmas elephant that I bought from Stila a while ago. Then you have a monk. I think I'm using this monk for DPS sometimes, yep. I only have the accessories on. Then I have these summoners that it don't have the right skin. I should use a Demoness on that one because it's a summoner only meant to be speedy. Yep, just some armor and speed and that's it. Because a summoner with 2 turkeys is the fastest characters you can get with the Demoness skin, which is why I find it useful to always have one. And I'm using this character for example, War of the Djinn on Ruthless, because that way you can travel on the map faster and click on the lamp faster. I have a TB2, which is a second tower boost monk, because on some maps you want another tower boost. I don't have a crazy set on him. I should fix that one day, but it's not that important. Having almost 7k on AB1 is more than enough. And he's wearing Butterscotch, which is one of my favorite exclusive event item. And yeah, speaking of Butterscotch, it's one of my favorite, and also it's the very first event item I ever got. from a contest or anything, because my very first um, contest I would say that I entered was for the beta of the Coastal Bazaar map, and that's when there was some rewards for the beta testers, and I got butterscotch from that day. So it's also my very first event ever got, and one of my favorites because I really like the way it looks, and it's wearing some blue. It's blue and yellow, and I like that. I like that monk. Then I have some bomber adept, because you could always use some extra adept to bomb. For example, Wizardry Challenge, or you want some adept for Crystal Cave or Emerald City if you are farming for stuff. So it's always good to have some. I could show quickly the item on that one. I have, well, that's my AB2 accessories. No, wait, that's not the correct characters. This is my bomber. Nothing crazy about that. 1++ armor, and then kinda common Staff of Flowers. Then you have these characters, which is an AB2 initiate. You don't oftenly see that characters in game, but it has some use, and she is wearing my AB2 set of accessories with ultimate. I didn't farm these two accessories. I bought them a while ago. Well, Fixed bought them a while ago, and he gave them to me. Well, they are part of a set that we use to shared and co-shared between each others, but as I don't really play the game anymore, well, I'm just keeping them for myself. And so that monk is wearing some AB2 armor as well, and she's not wearing a weapon, but she has one. And also, she is wearing oftenly a mini spider queen, because, well, the purpose of that character is enemy drain, and it's really good against Obungas or ogres, and that's it. It's sometimes useful on some maps, like what's the name of the map? Let's see. Sometimes it's good for this map, Forest Ogre Crutch, because there is only ogres and Obungas, and that way, with the enemy drains, they take twice more damage. Or you can use it for the new map Jester's Spectaculars, which can be good against Obungas again. It's only good against Obungas or ogres. Then I have another summoner. This one is a DPS summoner that I sometimes use, very rarely use. It's only good for maps like, well, not a lot of maps, Spring Valley, and I don't know what else. But it's always good to have a DPS summoner somewhere in your box. Then I have a contest that I'm using for assault, but she's not geared. And I don't even know why I have this accessory on. Oh yeah, it was because it was some accessories to get some nice AB2 to try Joust for against the boss, but I ungeared her. I have a cursed Jester, which has absolutely no use at all. But I like to, well, I used to keep some very good cursed gear and make some cursed characters, but uh, I had to remove these characters to make some space and add new characters instead. So this character is useless. I'm using it to forge my gear because that's my forge color, and I'm using this character to forge. Then I have this. That's another cursed characters. I'm never using a cursed character, but I like that. I'm using them to flex. And then my last page of characters with my my it's a ranger, DPS ranger, but I'm never using it. He is currently wearing my best male DPS set. As you can see, very nice chest and stuff like that. But I'm only using it now because of striking trip, island farming, yeah. I'm using it outside, well, I'm taking it out to get more forest rifles. But I'm never using it for anything else. One day maybe it will be good for DPS. Anyway, that was my very best male set. Then I have a square that I am using for assault with a mic and my crystalline defender shield. But currently no armor. My armor is somewhere else. I have this equip that I geared one day, and I used it on 2 or 3 videos. But then there was no more point to use it. It's a upgrader EV because at some points upgrader EV was better than using a Jester upgrader, but uh, it's even more useless now that the upgrader adept is a thing in the game, which is a bit sad because upgrader EV is cool. Well, it's really nice, it's really cool, but yeah, sadly it's useless now. I also have this, which is another bomber, just a bomber adept with decent ultimate armor. Just enough armor and stuff to get some decent AB2. These characters, I'm never using it, and in fact I will never use it again, because it's just a memory of when I started to play this game on my PC, because this character was the favorite characters to play, uh, my brother's favorite characters to play, and I never touched it again when he stopped playing with me on the game. He was just wearing this stuff and that's it. So it's just memory characters, and I'm keeping it in my inventory, but it has no use. And same goes for this one. It was also from my brothers. From my brother, I mean, because I only have one brother. With random stuff. So I'm keeping this 2 square, but just for memory. I have also this Tower HP Hermit that sometimes I'm using for maybe boss rush. Yeah, on boss rush you want some big tanky golem. And besides that, it can also be useful on some stuff. But I think it's nice to have a Tower HP Hermit. So as you can see, I have some decent accessories, and I have a decent pristine armor set. Yeah. And my last character is nothing. Like I used it for I don't remember what. Uh, that was my characters, and it took a while I think to go through all the characters. So yeah, I don't know if I'm not splitting the video in two parts because it will take a while to. It may take a while to do the entire video. And the next part of the video is to show all of my gear. I mean all of my items. And I have a lot of items here, but also on my alt account, and I will also show you my alt account. But I think I will do that in the next video. I will post the two video back to back, but I think I will stop for this video because I think it's already long enough. And anyway, see you in the next video. I think I will post it right away after this one or the next day. And I will record it right away right now, but see you for now. And I hope you enjoyed this first part of the video.